many of you already know that several digital-only banking that's been set up, and more will come. And also with the pandemic, for example, accelerated the use of contactless payment. So a lot more adoption of the e-wallets, right? So that is continues to grow. In fact, these two form a important ecosystem between the e-commerce as well as the digital finance, right? As each of them grow, they will feed to each other. So for this, how do you then prepare your organization to excel in this digital economy, right? What are the factors that you have to look into? So I think the key one is ultimately the digital customer experience, right? You want to provide, besides the offline customer experience, now you want to also provide the excellent customer experience on the digital channels as well to your customers. Now, this is the typical setup for the digital channels, right? On the left side is your application data center, right? It could be your on-prem data center, or more and more so now moving some of the workloads to the cloud, right? So it doesn't matter what it is, but you still have to work with the internet, which is this middle cloud here. And on the right side are your customers, your users, accessing from more and more different kind of devices, tablet, smartphones, desktops, and some of the IoT devices as well, right? So the internet is very much like a road traffic system. There will be congestions. There'll be areas where there are bottlenecks, right? I was notified that recently there is a cable cut in Indonesia, for example, that caused quite a number of website applications becoming slow or maybe even unavailable to access, right? This kind of situations may happen on a daily basis. So how does Akamai help that? So what we have done is that we have deployed many servers, and each of these nodes here represent a node of Akamai Edge platform. Where do we deploy the servers, right? We put our servers in the ISPs and the mobile operators. Why is that so? Because when your users, your customers trying to access your website or mobile app, they connect through an ISP or more so now mobile operator, right? To gain access to the internet. So by putting our servers in this ISP mobile operators data centers, we are very close to your customers. We are very close to your end users. So doing so, then we are able to help you do a number of things, right? So for example, we can give you the real customer experience when they're accessing a website and a mobile app. We can also optimize the route between your data center and the end user. So avoiding those bottlenecks and the congestions area that I pointed out earlier. So for example, the cable cut, recent cable cut in Indonesia, we can route around it to choose another route. The good thing about the internet is that there are multiple routes across point A and point B, right? But without Akamai, you are at the mercy of all these ISP and mobile operators to choose the route. But with Akamai, we can help you choose a better route based on real-time internet condition, right? We can choose a faster route and then make your website application faster. Also, the other things as well. So we can optimize your content automatically on the fly. And while doing so, for example, some of these images or videos we can cache on our servers so that we do not have to go back to your data center to get those contents. So in so doing, we reduce the load on your origin server. And as we have lots and lots of capacity on our platform, right? So for example, during a mega event like 11/11 now coming hard on us, 12/12, you can get instant scalability as well. And lastly, you can also actually run some logic, especially now you're going to microservices architecture for your application. You can run some of the logic on our servers is very close to the end user. Okay. So to give you a more understanding of where we put our servers, so we have servers across 135 countries, but some of you may be more interested in Indonesia. That's where you focus your business. So in Indonesia now, we have across the different 18 key cities across Indonesia. So not only in Jakarta alone, so you see all these green circles. That means we have servers deployed in the ISP and mobile operator data centers, right? We have over 3,800 servers now But more importantly is that we distribute this service into many cities and many ISPs and mobile operators. So doesn't matter where your users access from, what mobile operator they use or what ISP they use, they can get to Akamai within a single hop, and then to your content, to your application very quickly through the fastest route. What is not helping is the complexity of the web ecosystem, and also the application has increased tremendously, right? Nowadays, if you look at a website, for example, you'll see that almost 2/3 of the content actually comes from third party, right? So for example, an e-commerce may work with third party to do knowing the behavior of the consumer, for example, what kind of product this consumer prefers, so that it can automatically recommend new products, right? Recommendation engine that comes from a third party, right? And I'm sure all of you will have Google Analytics on your website, on other those kind of third party scripts. So that presents a challenge. Also, the use of APIs, just how we talk about the ecosystems, right? Nowadays, hardly a company exists on its own in the digital economy. You will have tie-ups, right, between a bank with a merchant, for example, or with an e-marketplace. So the use of the APIs are increasing rapidly. Also, if you are moving into microservices architecture, right, you'll see that you will use APIs in almost every aspects of your, for example, login, payment transaction, and so on, right? So in fact, on the Akamai platform, we see that 80% of the web traffic nowadays is made up of APIs, right? And it keep on changing on a daily basis. That provide a big surface attack area. So some of you may be familiar with web application firewall, right? But typically web application firewall do not have the capability or visibility into APIs. And because of that, you don't protect it. And that's why we see the rise in the attack, web application attacks. And now they are targeting more and more the APIs. Now, how does Akamai help you there is that we can help you to provide you the visibility, because if you can't see the APIs, you can't protect them, right? So our tools, in fact, this is a capability, a feature that we built into our web application firewall, right? That quickly, automatically allows you to see the various APIs in your application, in your website, right? We also can review what are changes have been going on in this API, because sometimes, yes, because in order to meet business demands, the DevOps teams have to move very fast, right? So they may add new APIs, they may change existing APIs, unfortunately without informing the security team, right? So this kind of changes will then become an exposure to risk. And we can also show you what has been the attacks, those requests that is trying to exploit these APIs and any errors in there. So after giving you that visibility, our WAF is able to protect you. So first is from DDoS protection, be it from a network layer, or also from a application layer, like the layer 7, HTTP or HTTPS layer. So using rate control, for example. After that, we can help you apply both positive as well as negative security model. So positive is that we look into what is the construct of the payload, right? Can the method be just a post or allows a get as well? Or what is the syntax of that entry of that? For example, a user ID password. Can it has this kind of character in it, for example, right? So that's positive security model. And then negative is that we inspect the payload against any known vulnerabilities. And the good thing is that with Akamai insight into what's happening in the internet, we have the security intelligence that when it's new attack vector, it's automatically updated into our WAF. So you don't have to worry about what's the latest attack, right? Then on top of that, we have bot management capability, because we see that a lot of the hackers are using bot to exploit these APIs, and also can help you govern the use of these APIs using authentication or authorization. So this is a sample reference architecture of how to use this, right? So first we help you to discover that and the DDoS And this is the positive security model where you can upload your API specification, right? And then this is negative security model with the walkthrough, inspection, and then reputation control, right? And last but not least is helping you to govern the use of that, because, for example, you allow the use of these APIs by your merchant partners only, for example, or your ecosystem partners, not to everybody, right?